No, it's because I'm trying to not smile too much, but it's really difficult for me. I can't hide the smile. The smile is too big. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you are all doing well. I'm smiling, no, it's not football related. I'm just smiling because the sun is out, because the birds, birdie, they are chanting, because it's spring again, because I even changed my sweater after 4 days. People were telling me, Beppe, when will you change your sweater? Because, and it's, I'm happy. A bit, let's say partially, it's a bit because Juventus 2 days ago they qualified to that FIFA Club World Cup 2025. A bit because Inter yesterday they lost against Atletico Madrid, which means 23-24 edition they can't win it. A bit. Will we speak about Inter? Yes, we'll speak about Inter. But not that much, actually. So people that are waiting here, Beppe, to jump, to celebrate, not that much. I don't want to celebrate too much. But I want to speak about it because it's really important, especially towards that big, bold statement. Calcio is back, that you know that I have always been against that media campaign of Serie A Calcio. I also want to speak about Giuntoli because we qualified and he has, and I told you yesterday, a really big responsibility with now a big, huge work. And I will reveal you some details that are extremely important. So don't go away, stay until the end of the video, because that's an important one. Maximum of like if you didn't yet. Continue to support me as a content creator. It costs you zero, with some likes, with some subscription, and also write, comment. We start not with Inter, but with something that actually yesterday I was wrong, or at least partially wrong. You remember when I told you Juventus qualified to that FIFA Club World Cup only thanks to ourselves, only thanks to Juventus, because in 4 seasons, 3 played, because 1 has been taken away, we had 47 points in that special ranking, while Napoli, Milan, Lazio, all the other teams, in 4 seasons, they qualified, they didn't qualify. Anyway, on the field, they had 42 points. So it means that it's only thanks to Juve, even with mediocre result in Champions League, but thanks to Juve that we reach it. Well, it's still true, but we have to speak about the butterfly effect. Do you remember the butterfly effect? There is even a really nice movie about that. Something that is happening somewhere in the world, butterfly effect. It's really small, a detail that becomes bigger and bigger and has huge consequences somewhere else. Well, that goal of Davide Faraoni, Napoli against Verona, the season of Pirlo, do you remember? That equalizer we celebrated it. Faraoni, do you remember? Faraoni, we were so happy because Juventus, thanks to that equalizer, qualified to the next edition of Champions League, where we didn't do that great. Napoli didn't go in Champions League. They didn't reach top 4 because of that single goal. And we were extremely happy because it was extremely important back then. But today, on the 14th of March 2024, well, it is even more important. Why? Because if Faraoni doesn't score and equalize, Napoli goes. Napoli has the opportunity to collect more points in Champions League, while Juventus can't collect points in that Champions League of season, I believe, 21-22. What does that mean? That single goal is having an important impact on the qualification. If he didn't equalize, Napoli would probably have earned on the field to go to the FIFA World Cup and not Juve. It's crazy, yeah? So if Davide Faraoni was already a legend at Juve, he's becoming even a bigger legend. I believe, I don't know what you think, that he deserves a statue in front of, I don't know, or maybe a small statue in the museum somewhere. Davide Faraoni with the number 5. Anyway, let's speak about the other things that are extremely important. Incubo Inter, nightmare Inter at the penalty shootouts. Ride l'Atletico. Atletico Madrid is laughing, is smiling, is celebrating. Now you know it. I never support Italian teams in European competition. This is something you can tell me whatever you want to. This is how I support. Or that doesn't mean that I am there with the shirt of the opponents and I support it. No, it's just that I don't like. Because the history, that when we play, they're all against us. And I think it's banter. I think it's totally correct. I accept when the other ones are against us. When I am against them, it is what it is. That's my point of view. Then, of course, if the consequences are that Italian football is better, etc., I can even close an eye and say, let's take it. If today we have a possibility to have 5 Champions League spots for Italy, I will not say no. But first of all, it depends on what are the interests for my beloved Juventus. Anyway, am I happy that they lost? Of course I'm happy. I didn't want Inter to go to the final and that they won. And then there is another thing that makes me smile and makes me happy. Is today opening Gazzetta dello Sport, Inter così fa male. Inter, this way it hurts. With the Lautaro Martinez disaster penalty yesterday, totally, he's dead. He's dead. On the page, he's dead. Inter, this way it hurts. And I believe it's also a bit how Gazzetta dello Sport is feeling. They really believed in it. They really believed in it. Not only there, but also to go all in and win that Champions League. They are totally destroyed. It's like they sucked the soul out of their body. Totally disaster. Look at that front page. Maybe I will put it here somewhere. I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful page, especially because we know it. And we already spoke about it. Sponsor, Gazzetta, Inter. You remember last year they were even offering Gazzetta dello Sport yearly subscription if you were a member of Inter to the stadium. Crazy. Totally crazy. Anyway, let's not lie now. Let's not change everything. Inter was strong. Inter is strong. Inter, I told you even yesterday, and I will not change my narrative now, was the top 3 best informed team of Europe. There were even some debates, are there the most informed team of Europe? In Italy, they are the strongest one. They are showing it week in, week out, with an Inzaghi that is doing a fantastic job, with the players that were doing a fantastic job. They totally deserve to be where they are. Now, does that mean that they are really the best team of the world? No. Yesterday we saw it. Yesterday, when it was important, when it really mattered, when they had that pressure, where they were not able to do it. Against an Atletico Madrid that yesterday, on the field, in that game, were stronger than Inter. You see, a game in a particular moment of a season can change the total narrative. From an Inter best of the world, Inter total failure. Or at least, if we are consequence, this should be the narrative. Because I remember, when Juventus was winning Scudetto, and Juventus was out in the round of 16 of Champions League or even quarterfinal, we were winning the Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, even with all these trophies in the season. If we were not doing a beautiful Champions League campaign, if we were eliminated, then it was a failure. By non-Juventini, but also by Juventini themselves, because it was not enough anymore to win the Scudetto, to be happy to win a Supercoppa. No. So I think if we are consequent, well, Inzaghi and Inter out of the Champions League, something didn't work. That means also that this is a season that can be seen as failure to be out there, especially if you are winning 1-0 the first leg, especially if you are scoring with Di Marco, the 1-0 that is taking momentarily the lead in Madrid. It changed from the best to a failure season. It's totally crazy how a game can change and having an impact on something. I'm not changing my narrative. Inter is strong. Inter deserves to be there where they are in Serie A. Inter probably, with the strength that they had, they would have been without problem in the top 4 of Champions League this season. But football is crazy. Probably they were a bit overrated. That's the problem. There is no balance. And that's always why I'm trying to tell you. Balance. Because there was, and there always will be, one key word. Consistency. Before being the best team in the world like Napoli, this was described last year by our friend of IFTV, consistency. A 1-year miracle can't be the best team of all era of Italian football or the world, I don't remember. Can't be. Like Italiano first season at Fiorentina, can't be. Like De Zerbi, can't be, before he's really showing now that he's able to do better than he did at Sassuolo, better than at Shakhtar, better than when he took over a team that was 4th and finished like 7th, offering beautiful football. Consistency, longer term. And that's why sometimes I think, and I'm convinced about it, we Juventini, we don't respect enough that crazy cycle of 10 years of trophies, 9 Scudetti, and then a lot of other clubs. We don't respect enough. We don't realize how crazy it was, that longevity, that consistency in so long time. We were not even happy anymore to win a Scudetto. Look, if you're looking at Gazzetta dello Sport title of 2 days ago, before Napoli was eliminated by Barcelona. L'Europa siamo noi. We are Europe. Corriere dello Sport today. Tutte fuori. All of them are out. Lazio, now Napoli, Inter, even Milan in the round of in the group stages. That's 4 teams on 4 that are eliminated before the quarterfinal. Total disaster, especially for an Italian football that last season, when 5 Italian teams were in the semifinal, not winning, in the semifinal, they started a campaign with Calcio is back that I have always massively criticized. I always told you, what do you mean Calcio is back? First of all, it's a shame because that means that you are publicly saying to the world that is watching, Calcio was gone. You're showing that you were weak. And then you say, Calcio is back, pay attention, because if you can't keep your promise, then it's a problem, because it will be a boomerang, it will start to be a meme. And 3 teams went into the final, the 3 teams lost. That slogan, Calcio is back, was karma. This year, they're all out. Last year, why were they maybe Calcio is back? Look at the Champions League. Napoli played against Frankfurt in round of 16. Milan played against Tottenham. Inter against Porto. Next round, in the quarterfinals, Napoli-Milan. Inter-Benfica. Inter-Benfica. Semifinal, Milan-Inter. We know then all the consequences. Gravina started to be vice president of UEFA. Everything was going the Italian way. And even there, it was not enough. So this year, Napoli is playing against Barcelona. Lazio is playing against Bayern Munich. Inter is playing against Atletico Madrid. The balls were not that much in favor of these teams. On the other side, do we speak about the best Bayern ever? It's probably the worst Bayern that we saw in maybe the last 10 seasons. And Lazio were not able, with also there a 1-0 lead, to win. Napoli against the Barcelona, this is a disaster. Xavi will leave at the end of the season. They were playing with half of the team that was injured in La Liga. They are third. They have no possibility to win the league. It's a total disaster. Barcelona eliminated. Inter against an Atletico Madrid that is even risking that top 4 because Bilbao is right behind them. And they were in a moment of depression. If you're looking at the Spanish papers, they were always, every single day, they were with their head on the ground. You know, maybe these kind of slogans, they should be calma. Consistency before speaking is the same thing as we are praising Kenan Yildiz after 3 great games. Huijsen, Fagioli that was next to Pirlo after 2-3 games. Calma, consistency, and of course it's a passionate sport, and of course when we see a beautiful dribble, when we see a beautiful goal, when we have a fantastic beautiful win, we go and we enjoy. Of course this is football, it's totally normal, but before having final judgment on Inzaghi is now the best coach on the world, wait, because then the day after you can't say anymore, no, but Inzaghi played 3-5-2, it's not working. He was playing the same way the day before. You know, calma, judgment. Now, last thing before we speak about Juve, because then the video will be extremely long and I don't want to. Yesterday I had the really immense pleasure to be live together with Daffara Comenencia and Giovanni Daffara, 2 players from our next gen. Daffara is the goalkeeper. It was super fun because Daffara Comenencia doesn't speak Italian and Giovanni Daffara doesn't speak English. So it was a live in Italian-English with a mix. Both of them were next to each other. It was extremely funny. I really enjoyed my time. 2 super nice guys. And I told you, I love to do next gen or under 19 because when I'm speaking with them, when we are in interview, I'm always thinking, these guys, maybe they will be, like, our future stars, and I would have, forever, for my eternity, for the next 20-25 years, I would have already spoken with them. So I'm always super, and then you discover the players. I discovered, for example, Daffara, super mature, idol, Buffon, of course. He spoke about, when a new player arrives at Juve, especially from outside, we tell them about maturity, that you don't go crazy at you. There are some rules that you have to respect. For example, being on time is one of the first rules that I'm explaining to the players. It was really nice to see the maturity already of Giovanni Daffara, and then that sparkle in the eye of Livano Comenencia that I already liked, but then even more yesterday. He kept repeating every single answer. I want to win. I always want to win. Super competitive. And he was really taking it with the joy. I really enjoyed Comenencia yesterday. It was really nice. Speaking also about, coming to Juve. He didn't know 1 week before that Juventus was even monitoring him. So it was a surprise when Juve called him. Really nice. But you know what was even funnier? And then we go to the other topics. Was when we spoke with Daffara. He spoke about his idols, and he said, Buffon is an idol. And then, there is one goalkeeper. He's probably underrated, but especially according to physicality, etc. It's a bit like me. It's Oblak, a fantastic goalkeeper. He spoke, of course, about Neuer, about all the goalkeeper, but Oblak was the one that he wanted to underline. And maybe he knew already that Oblak would have done a fantastic game yesterday. Anyway, I told you about our smiles after 16 minutes of video. Again, the smiles can only be there if we win against Genoa, because otherwise it's a total disaster. Huh? We qualify to that FIFA World Cup. We need to qualify ASAP to that Super Champions League of next year. How did Juventus react to the news about that qualification to the FIFA World Cup? Smiles. Happiness in the offices, on the field, moderated. Calma. There is only Genoa in mind. Because we know it, huh? If it's only your one and we continue with the disaster that we are showing week in, week out now since 7 games, well, all the smiles, it makes no sense. Qualifying to that FIFA World Cup would have made no sense. The good news is that McKennie, but also Rabiot should be there for the game. And on top of that, also Dusan Vlahovic. Second part of the video, we'll try to keep it short. Scudetto e coppe. Servirà una rosa ampia e di qualità. Vlahovic blindato e innesti mirati. So, when I told you that big work of Giuntoli, Scudetto and coppe, so the Scudetto to play, and then all the different cups, you will need a team that will be much bigger in terms of quantity, but also quality. Checked how many potential games that Juventus could play next season. If you are taking everything, 69 potential games to be played. This is 60% games more than what we do this season. 38 games of Serie A, 5 games of Coppa Italia, 2 games of Supercoppa, 17 games of Champions League, 7 games of Club World Cup. Of course, this is an ideal world where you play everything and you go into the final of everything, which will not happen, except of the most, positive, I don't know who could even believe that we will play all of these games arriving in the final of every competition. That may be a bit a stretch. But anyway, in the best case scenario, you play 69 games, which is totally incredible. So you need more rotation, you need more players, but also players of quality. And there is also a thing that is extremely important, a detail that I really wanted to tell you, that competition will be played between the 15th of June, I believe, until the 13th of July. But the contract of the players, they all end at the 30th of June in Italy, or at least at Juve. The other ones, I'm not sure. 30th of June. That means that from the 1st of July, the players where the contract has ended, they are all free. But we have a problem, because if we have contract players, or at least at the end of the season, they don't renew, well, we lose like a lot of players. And you know how many players are in that situation? Contract ending at 2025, we have the 3 goalkeepers, Szczesny, Perin, Pinsoglio, all of them contract 30 June 2025, which means, let's say we don't extend, they play all season long, they come with us to play that World Cup, they play like the first part and the second part, they come. They are not the low, we have no goalkeeper anymore. Maybe Daffara will play, I don't know. Danilo is in that situation, De Sciglio in that situation, McKennie is in that situation, Chiesa, Ealing and Moiskin. I don't know if Juventus and other clubs that are in the same situation, they will be able to find a kind of agreement, because it's also insurance. Insurance for injury, for whatever, for travel, for everything. So if they will be able to have a kind of special rules to extend for 15 more days, I don't know how, but that's a really important thing that I was thinking about immediately. And then, of course, you have Rabiot, you have Rugani, that these players, their contract ends 2024. If we renew, for example, Rabiot, no way that it will be for 1 year only, like Rugani. It will be at least for 2 years so that you avoid that annoying situation. But the other players, well, we will have to speak about them, with them, to understand if we extend or not. Who do we extend? Who do we do not extend? But that specific thing is an important one. And Giuntoli will start with that one, understanding who stays, who doesn't stay, who you want to cash in, because then you have to do mercato. Because even extending only is not enough. I told you we need an extra large squad team next season with potentially 69 games to play. And that's why the eyes of Juventus are on a 4-3-3 possibly, with what coach we don't know yet. Reinildo, that yesterday didn't play, this season didn't play a lot, I believe 7 games only in La Liga. Reinildo from Atletico Madrid, that could be there as a left back. Koopmeiners is still a number 1 target. Felipe Anderson is a free target that could join next season with Soulé, without Soulé, cashing it with Soulé, saving that money for that midfield. We have a lot of options. I don't want to go too much in these details, because a lot can happen. The names, we know them. Yesterday, Giuntoli was watching Atletico Madrid for Reinildo, as I told you, but also for Hermoso, that is on the end of his contract. There is still Kelly from Bournemouth, Ferguson from Bologna, Koopmeiners, Fabian Ruiz, Kefren Thuram is still a target, even if extremely difficult, Samarsic, Merino, and Felipe Anderson. What will happen with the situation of Lazio, with the change of coach? There are so many variables, but I believe that the work of Giuntoli will be immense, and better with that qualification to the World Cup, and hopefully also really soon with that qualification to the Champions League. That was it for me. Super long video. I don't know. What do you prefer? If you arrive here, that means that you are really loving the videos. What do you prefer? The videos in 2 videos, like 2 different topics, or 1 long and basta? Let me know in the comment. Grazie, forza, Juve.